There is a perfect example of motherhood out there. We've all felt its presence. It lingers in our social media feed, in the products we buy, the answers to the questions we research. Even though we know it's not real, we feel it spotlight what we could be doing better.
Join two best friends as they step off the stage of motherhood and go behind the scenes with moms from different walks of life.
The Momcult Podcast. Real moms, real talk, real tired. Well, cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
I love these cups.
Thank you.
Too.
They're these little cut-off cups.
It's so rare that I drink something that isn't plastic.
It's just not worth the
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
It's like either a mug or it's something like recycled from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. Well, welcome to the Momcult Podcast, episode number 2. Very exciting. Can't believe we actually got it on a calendar and
Made
planned it,
happen.
and we're here, and it's happening, and all of our children are taken care of.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Alive and in person. Everybody's in person.
Yes. But our special guest today is Miss Shannon Miller.
Hi.
Mrs. Shannon Miller.
Shannon Lee Miller.
Shannon Lee Briggs Miller.
And I'm Sarah Parker Massey. And
I'm Joy Todd.
where are you this week?
I am about 3 hours away from taking my second pinworm medicine dose. So it's one of those weeks
That
where,
old chestnut.
yeah, things that they don't tell you are going to happen. Is that your adorable, beautiful, tiny princess
Dog?
of a girl is going to have some like, oh, no, yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
It sounds more appropriate. No, this is,
Yeah. No, I had it when I was little, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
I think I've had ringworm before as a kid. What's the difference?
oh my goodness.
pinworms are butt.
Pinworms are butt.
Yeah.
It is,
Worms.
okay,
Yeah, no, I'm.
a pinworm story.
I can't wait.
So
Makes my week seem like a breeze.
everybody has, and this is probably number 1 or 2 on like the gross kid illness scale, I would think. But everyone has them in their digestive system.
Right.
It's like a normal thing, but some people at times, if they have terrible personal hygiene, like a child, may experience a bit of what can really only be called an infestation. And you know when this is happening because your child will wake up in the night, like as they do for every other
Right.
ailment, and they'll be uncomfortable to talk about their little hiney itching. So what then the parent is meant to do if they suspect pinworms is to sneak up into their room in the night
And spread those little cheeks.
and put a little dainty little square of Scotch tape over the child's anus.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not what
To
my
like
mom
keep
said
them
she
from
did.
coming out.
Well, to
What
see
does
in the
tape
morning,
do?
it's like the worst version of Tooth
It's like a a glue trap.
Yeah. So then you like wake up in the morning and you go back up and you're like, I wonder if we caught
How many did we catch?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have to take, everyone in your home has to take this medicine that sounds like, I mean, it tastes like,
Garbage.
oh my gosh, like banana
Gasoline?
garbage, like penicillin almost. And of course the kids have to take like the tiniest little bit, but like our giant adult bodies are like, you're drinking this entire bottle of Ipecac basically and just like tossing it back. And you got to wash all your stuff. But I would put it above lice in grossness and
Yeah.
under hand, foot, and mouth.
Okay. Where are you at this week, Sarah?
My notes say penis interest.
Fantastic.
Which is it's been going on for a while, but Parker Duke is really aware and interested in his penis, so we're which is mainly me changing his diaper.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, Eric changes tons of diapers. But he when he's showing interest, telling him, yes, that's your penis, like explaining it in like in a normal adult way, that whole thing. Did you experience that at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different levels, I feel like. Was it, how long did that
I'll
did that
It
go
never
on?
ends. It will
Yeah.
go on until the
Right,
child
yeah, what
is
am I saying?
no longer with us.
Yeah,
He's an
totally.
old man.
Taking
Right,
those
right.
long showers as
Yeah.
a teenager.
Right. What am I? I know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like
How about how long?
How long are they into their
the
penis?
amount of like fear
Their whole
though.
life, I think.
I'm a little sleep deprived. I don't think I've said that on the mic, on the hot mic. Gross. Cut that.
The amount of fear though from like that first boner that they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Oh.
very sympathetic to that. Yeah, I'm like,
I've heard that.
what's happening?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, Wilder, who will not listen to this ever, so I feel okay saying this. I mean, he'll be like, it just won't get down. He's like, it's been standing up all morning. And I'm like, well, good for you.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Good job.
Penis
So pretty
life.
much that, just
Okay.
like boy stuff. I mean, also he's like being super cute and cuddly and
Yeah.
all the cute stuff, but that's a funny thing.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. I'm fine. I'm definitely need a new sleep plan. I just haven't wanted to have that conversation yet
Yeah.
and rock the boat and change it up. So I've just been trying to eat it, and I'm trying to take the things I learned from being a mom the first time and not go down the road of like, here's what's unfair, because that doesn't get you anywhere productive. So I'm really trying to hone in on what I need and how to ask for what I need before I have the conversation. And there are days where I'm totally fine. But yeah, I'm trying to fight the resentful feelings and the unfair feelings, and yeah, but she's getting so much easier. We're out of the crying for no reason or just being like, I don't know what you need. So she's getting a little less. Do twins run in your family?
Oh, good question.
They do not. And I guess because mine are fraternal twins. They're, they each had all their own stuff.
Yeah.
They were in separate sacks, all that. So before the twins, and if you want things to take a dark turn, here's where they're going to
I can't
take
wait.
a dark turn.
Okay.
So I got pregnant with quadruplets before that.
That's right. I forgot about
Spontaneous
that.
quadruplets. Yeah.
What?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah.
Bomb drop.
Big time.
Wow.
So, and that we knew that was not going to be a healthy pregnancy like pretty early on. And I was, I am at peace with it. It is very obviously something that's terrible for someone to have to go through. And
Yes.
every time I see someone going through it, I'm like, all the memories. But my OB said afterwards, she's like, this was a freak thing. It's never going to happen again. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fair. I mean, this was an odd thing.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I was pregnant with twins, and she retired. So I was like, thanks, girl, I'm on my own now.
I mean, did they tell you anything further than that about quadruplets? I haven't heard of a natural.
Because you guys weren't doing in vitro or anything, right?
No. Well, I mean, there are numerous ridiculous theories, and I believe all of them a little bit. I was nursing at the time, and apparently that can make,
That makes sense.
make your hormones a little cray-cray. And there is a weird correlation between multiples and these specific white sweet potatoes that I know that sounds insane.
No, I mean,
I swear, you look it up. It might be a weak link, but maybe they just haven't counted my case into the whole sweet potato theory.
Yeah.
You'd probably change the whole theory from the
I
theory
might.
into a reality.
Yes.
How many of those sweet potatoes
I was
were you eating?
a lot of those sweet potatoes.
that's the cover of your memoirs.
Yeah. and so that happened. The odds, I think, were about something like 1 in 750,000 or something totally
Wow.
bizarre. But then I thought for sure that was an isolated thing,
Yeah.
but not so. So Buckley has a vasectomy now after those
Clearly.
experiences. And we are done, I think.
Right.
And then Hudson is baby B, the younger twin by 19 minutes.
Love.
And he is hilarious, obsessed with music, has huge baby cheeks still that I hope he never loses.
Oh, he won't.
He better not. He better not. And he's autistic and brilliant and mostly non-speaking, but very, very opinionated.
Awesome.
And you are a writer.
I am. I'm a ghostwriter mostly.
Nice.
Yeah, or a book doula, as I'm often called. So I kind of help people get their ideas together, get them out in the world, and
that.
Do you have a preference of what you like doing better?
I honestly, and this is, I think, part of a kid's thing, is I really enjoy being somebody's champion now. Like, I love being in somebody's corner, and I did not know that about myself before kiddos.
Yeah.
But now, if I can help somebody get the most of them into their project as possible, that's where I want to be, what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially when you know how limited their time and energy is. It really makes you want to use the time that you're given to help them to be as productive as possible.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, I see people now so infrequently that I'm like, if I'm going to get you in a room, you're going to leave thinking you're the most magnificent creation that's ever happened.
I think we're going to feel that way when we leave. I'm already starting to feel that way.
I hope so.
Well, then I'm glad you're getting some time to spotlight you and how amazing you are.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story. You can kind of pick your own highlight reel or the things you feel like are worth touching on not.
I'm going to leave out all the terrible
I want to get
stuff.
to know you.
Well, I've been in Nashville for about, I think, 14 years now, which is a crazy amount of time that I just have 14 spare years of adulthood kicking around. And I came down here working in music publishing and was a, songwriter at the time, had a 3-year contract and said, Nashville sounds very fun and very new and a lot warmer than Toronto. So I'm going to scoot down there for a bit. Met Buckley, my husband here, and just decided, this is it. This is where we're going to be. This is a great quality of life, great town, great place to have a family. Like, let's go for it. So got married. A couple years later, had Wilder. And then the real fun started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah, it's not maybe all fun, but the beginning of the family journey, anyhow, was with him for sure. But twins is fun, and I highly recommend it.
Well, and the fact that you could go into twins being relieved. No one's relieved to find out they have twins, but you were like, whew.
They make products
this is going to be
situation.
This is going to be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
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 They have like a couple of things for quads.
Yeah.
But not many. I have 2 sets of twin nephews, and they do run in my family, but one of them is not, was from fertility stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, but
Okay, so got pregnant with quadruplets, miscarried, 3 months later, pregnant with twins.
Yes.
What was the process of getting prepared for twins like?
Well, seeing as I could actually go to a store and buy products, I really was to a certain degree relieved. Mm-hmm. But I was also very sick. Well, I thought it was going to be just like a slightly larger, single pregnancy, and it's not. It's like having 2 separate pregnancies at the exact same time.
That sounds so hard.
I mean, it ended up, I had probably what was a really easy twin pregnancy compared to some people. I mean, I didn't deliver until they were 38 weeks.
Right.
They both went out the front door. Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to call it.
If it's still considered a door.
It's more like that construction netting now, flopping around at the side of the road.
Not the most, it's not the most welcoming.
No, there's practically a beware sign,
caution tape all around.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy, and other than having to push twice, which is unpleasant, and no one really told me I was going to have to do that until I was in there.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy, and they were pretty easy babies. Especially, I think there is nothing like becoming a mother for the first time. That is going to rock your world more than, in my experience, more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I was prepared in that respect, and that I was already momming pretty hard.
Yeah, you already had made room in your life to work around this new person.
Yes.
So it's just adding some more people to that space that's already been made.
Yes, exactly.
What was I going to ask?
I wanted to know how long you pushed with each while you're thinking of your question.
Yeah.
I know that's real specific if you know.
No. Let me think. I know there were 19 minutes between them, and Everly came out pretty quick. I was real, and I don't know what it is about me because I'd already had a baby, and I knew, don't bear down and go for it. Like, you are going to rip your entire body open. But I did anyway. And then I think that was probably maybe like a half hour of pushing. And then HUD had flipped. Because when the first baby comes out, the second baby's like, oh, look at all this room. So he was sideways, and they had to, they had to move him. I'm making a very uncomfortable dance move right now.
Really cool looking.
Yeah. And that was deeply unpleasant. But, I think that was maybe 20 minutes of pushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do people have multiples with no drugs? Is that like an option, or is everyone just like, no, it's just assumed that you're going to have an epidural?
I mean, it is definitely an option that I did not take. So, yeah, I mean, some people I think do it, but the concern is that something will happen. And then if you don't have an epidural, then you're going to have to go like under.
Right.
And you're going to wake up and there's going to be babies on top of you.
Right.
And yeah.
You'll have kind of missed the whole thing.
Yes. Which, looking back, I'm like, well,
it wouldn't have been the worst thing.
I've seen one,
I saw the first one. It's all the same.
I mean, it would have been great to not have the knowledge that I pooed on the lady. Like, I don't know that makes me a stronger person
that's
today.
always my first question.
Yeah, I asked, and I think that I did, but my doctor wouldn't tell me, which I think is nice.
I didn't even ask the doctor. I just asked my sister with Ava.
Oh.
I was like, so what was, she was like, just a little bit.
Just a very elegant
It's totally fine.
poo.
It was just, it's very elegant.
Yeah.
And then I asked Jeremy with Penny, and he said yes, but I think there wasn't really much discussion after that. But I'm just always curious.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about it either time. You think about it beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't think about it at all in the moment, and then I think about it immediately after it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the nurse just kind of slyly just tapping something away. Just a little
Swatting
tap.
it.
And kind of looking concerned, like, like,
Oh, I think she had corn.
Yeah.
That
Took
was
your
my
corn.
joke.
Yeah.
Dang it. Quick draw.
Corn. Okay, I'm so naive about autism in general, so I definitely don't want to ask any stupid questions. What were the first things that you noticed? Had you already known about it and noticed some things, or did you notice some things and then decide to do some research, or how did that all kind of unfold?
I think HUD Bud was like about 15 months maybe, and he was just super duper, and I love this about him, he still is to this day, into music like nobody else. I remember the exact song we were listening to. We were listening to No Diggity, and he was in his world. He was like, yes, it is me and Blackstreet, and we are doing this.
What does that look like? Is he just like moving around? Is he just like tapping on the floor?
Tapping, rocking. He rocks. And he puts himself to sleep that way still. He'll just fold himself over. It's the cutest thing in the whole world.
So cute.
But at that point, I was like, and then I just I kept my eye on it for a long time. And maybe a few months later, I noticed that he was just really into different stuff, and he still is. He has a different brain. It's an awesome brain, but it's different than mine. And he did have some deficits as far as like fine motor stuff and speech. His speech was delayed. He still is limited with speaking, very communicative, but as far as actually speaking to me, it's been a little slower to come. But after that point, we started speech and OT and early intervention with like TEIS, which is the Tennessee Early Intervention Services or System. And, I think I was very, very at peace with having a neurodivergent kid. I mean, I have made a ton of mistakes in learning the language and how to talk about it.
The train's just getting closer.
It is.
I kept thinking, oh, it's fine.
We're on the tracks. It's a
gets
metaphor.
louder every time.
Yeah. But
and you're fine with it, you're saying?
yeah, I mean, it's been probably the best parenting experience I could ever have, because I'm seeing little bits of the world anyway in a totally loud train. I get to see a little bit of a world that not many other people get to see, and that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my kids are amazing. Wilder was with me the day that Hud got diagnosed. We were at Vanderbilt, and he was about 3, Hud was. And we'd had the appointment for like ever and ever, and got on the wait list and got in. And after we were done, we had a great time. Everyone was really nice. They give you the packet, which you hold but mostly ignore, and walk out. And Wilder was so excited. He goes, "Mom, Hudson passed his autism test." And I was like,
so sweet.
You know what? You are right. He did. And this is the exact way that our family's going to be. And we're going to handle this because he did. And he's amazing. And, we're all here to support him and help him and love him. And it's been really good.
Have you watched did you watch On the Spectrum, the show? Love on the Spectrum?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It was like one of the best parts of 2020.
Yeah.
Getting to watch that show.
I think it's really important and amazing that a lot of these shows are coming out, but that they're actually featuring autistic people.
Right.
And hopefully as many autistic people as possible are involved in the development of these shows and, on the crew and editing and all of that stuff and just guiding the process, because, and one mistake I've made in all of this is, learning a lot from other moms, which is fantastic. Learning with other moms is amazing.
That's what we're doing right now.
And talking to doctors and reading studies and things like that. But for the first couple years, I didn't talk to many people that were autistic. And those have been the best teachers and will continue to be. And it's really humbling as a parent because you see the mistakes that you make. But it's worth it. And what a resource to have, and how selfless of those people to actually say, I'm going to talk about this thing that was traumatizing to me as a child that I didn't like, so somebody else can possibly avoid that with their child.
Right.
That's really interesting.
Has there been a thing on the top of that list that you feel like you learned from another autistic person that you were like, oh, I've been doing this with Hudson and I need to stop?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, and this was a really hard thing for me, is that as a writer, I think I started to take on a little bit of his narrative, which isn't fair because I don't know what he feels, and I don't
what he's thinking,
and it's not my story to share, really.
Right.
I can share the amazing adventure of parenting him, and I will sing the praises of that journey every day. Most days. He can still be a turd like any other kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's really where I had to stop and say, okay, am I really doing this right? Is this for me or is it for him?
Right.
And it's just, I think you get, especially in my work, I get so used to telling other people's stories. It's second nature to me. But I don't have his consent. He's 5. He's, almost 6. And that's really his opportunity to take when he's ready, if he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned when I was talking about you coming on the podcast and the topics we were going to hit, and when we talked about autism being one of them, that you were unsure of how far you wanted to go into that conversation because there's a lot of controversy around the topic. And can you touch a little bit more on what that means and what the controversies are?
Yeah. I think for me, my main hesitation was just that I'm not autistic, and I'm definitely 100% not the best person to tell anybody what that is like.
Right.
And those are truly the voices that we should be listening to right now. But also there are a lot of people that believe different things about autism and its origins, and it's loaded. It's painful for a lot of people to talk about. I think some of the language that we tend to use surrounding autism can be really painful for someone who's autistic to hear. And similarly, there are parents that are going through this, just getting their child diagnosed and maybe picturing a new future, a new life, Some people may feel as though there's a period of mourning. And I think it can be a lot to process. And I don't want to tell somebody how to process that.
Right.
You know, we've been really lucky, and I count myself as very lucky to have been able to be really pumped about him. But it can be difficult, and everybody's child is very different, and everybody on the spectrum is very different.
Do you have just a general, as a parent, advice that you would give, or do you feel like it's too tailored to what the specific situation is, or is there a couple things that can kind of cover the gamut of how to be the best parent to? Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I can tell you how to be like a medium parent, right? Like a 4 out of 10. If anyone's interested in that,
what number are you shooting
4 to 6.
Let's not aim too high.
I think one of the best things that I did was make my own milestones with him. You know, like, when was the first time that I saw him truly in love with something? You know, screw walking, screw, you know, the first time he ate a broccoli or whatever.
Right.
When was he truly happy? What does he truly love? You know, when did he reach for my face for the first time? You know, and that's, you are allowed to have a totally different journey than the pediatric society says you're going to, you know?
Yeah.
And some people will. Like, that's just
What it is.
Spectrum. I really, and probably since I work mostly in books, I've loved reading books by autistic authors. There's a great book called The Reason I Jump, and it's written by a 13-year-old, mostly non-speaking boy, as far as I know, and I hope I'm not getting that wrong. And it's just a fantastic, beautiful account of what it feels like for him.
Yeah.
And I found a lot of beauty in it and a lot of comfort. And, you know, my kid is leading.
What are the
What
chances?
are they doing?
So there's a painter.
He's scraping.
Outside.
He's right out the
sanding.
window. Oh, he didn't like that.
Oh, my goodness.
We just called him out.
Wow.
I saw.
But the mom in me is like, you're working so hard, buddy.
Good job.
You're showing craftsmanship.
I saw them when I pulled up, you know, on the ladders on the walls, and I was like, okay, that might be a thing. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Well,
But like everything else in motherhood, what are you going to do?
roll with the punches.
Surrender.
Yes. Lean in, ladies.
This is all a metaphor. The train, the painter.
Yeah. Okay, Shannon. Down to some questions for you.
Questions. Fantastic.
What is the biggest struggle for you in this current phase that you're in?
Well, there are many.
Of course.
I think for
I should
me,
say struggles.
struggles.
Plural.
Yes. This needs to be a longer program. But
This should be a separate podcast.
yeah. What's
just called
What's going
Struggles.
wrong with Shannon today? There are 75 episodes in the season.
Shannon struggles.
I think remembering that I'm one person is difficult, and that work Shannon and mom Shannon are not separate people. That I am the same broad with the same needs. And I need to take care of myself. I can't expect those two halves of myself to carry a full load. So I think it's just learning to set boundaries with work and with home, and trying to understand that, like, I am a 37-year-old woman and I'm doing my best. And that's enough. Like, that is enough. And I can go to bed at night knowing that I'm doing my best.
What when do you feel like you turned that corner to kind of just let that be the reality and go, you know what, I'm enough, screw all the other voices in my head? Is that something that you struggle with on and off, or did you feel like you hit an age or a point in your life when you were like, yeah, I'm done with this?
I feel like, and this is a whole other road you may not want to go down, but, you know, I spent a lot of my life very unhealthy, very addicted, very sick. And I feel like I truly have gotten a second chance. Yeah. And I owe a lot of my health, especially my mental health, to my kids.
Yeah.
And I know it's untenable for me to worry about certain things. And it's not worth my time.
Right.
And it's certainly not worth my life or the quality of their lives.
Right.
So yeah, I just, you know, it's just not something I can do as a human and continue to function well.
Yeah.
Is to expect more of myself than is possible.
Yeah. Did you struggle with body issues post Wilder, getting back to your body, and did that shift after the twins? Was it hardest after the twins, or had you already kind of come to terms with
I had come to terms with it earlier, and I was, very bulimic and addicted in more of a chemical way. And I've heard a lot of other people that have struggled with bulimia specifically talking about this, is where it becomes almost like a self-soothing routine, more of like a sensory input thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's definitely what it was for me. But I think parenthood, pregnancy, all that stuff, I love my body now. I love it, and it's lumpy, and it's broken in a lot of ways, and everything is not where it once was. But it's exactly as it should be, you know?
Yeah.
And so that, like, pregnancy gave me such a healthy respect for my body and love for my body. And also, it just helped me realize, like, you are supposed to journey in your body, not with it. You know, you should never be on a mission to love yourself. Like, that is something that you should be born with and retain.
Right.
You know, do things in your body, take it with you places, but don't fight against it. Use it, you know, use it as a tool to fight against the other shit that really matters.
Right.
I love that. Yes, it's been really helpful for me. Yet again.
Good. Okay, question number 2. What do you wish someone would have told you before you had kids?
I wish they would have told me that there was going to be an enormous pandemic and that I was going to be homeschooling
that
everyone.
That would have been really cool to have a heads up on that.
Yes.
Are they back at school?
They are not yet, but next year. Very hopeful.
Got it.
But yeah, that would have been great information. You know, just that they are growing up in an entirely different world that I don't think any of us could have really predicted. Our kids would be growing up in, and we're processing it all together, you know, and that's delicate, and you don't have a lot of time to figure out, like, what's my approach going to be about the whole, like, despotism thing happening in America. Like, how are we going to talk about that? You know, there's no
handbooks that are being...
They haven't written that. They didn't get time to write that one.
Right.
So it's really sitting down and trying to be honest with them about that stuff. On the flip side, I would really have liked to have known how all-consuming children's birthday parties are. And that, like, your entire life is going to become children's birthday parties. You're going to eat so much cake.
Other kids' birthday parties.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to go to a backyard every weekend, and there's going to be a giant inflatable structure, and everyone's going to throw their kids inside. And you're going to be expected to be fine with all that. Like, no one knows what's happening in there. There's a lot of screaming. Maybe a grown-up peeks in now and then.
Maybe someone, are they crying? Are they happy screaming? We don't really know. Yeah. But just zip it down and walk away.
Exactly. Yeah, the bouncy castle factor is terrifying. Chuck E. Cheese is a baby casino. Like, their eyes glaze over and they're like just, you know, shoving their tickets in and trying to get them. And the trampoline parks are probably my least favorite.
Oh, I tried to go, Sarah, when she got engaged.
Oh, girl.
For your birthday.
Yes.
The year after you got engaged, you went to one of those places. Birthday, and that's where you asked me to be your maid of honor.
Wow.
Matron. No, maid.
Maid, yeah.
Because your sister was matron of honor.
I didn't remember
but
that.
I had just had Ava not long before that. And I that was my first experience of understanding why moms don't jump on trampolines anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm just peeing on myself.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pee. Like, it's just fluid is leaving my body. And this makes so much sense now. Why you hit an age and go, I don't really do the trampoline thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember that day so specifically.
And then somebody with us, like, what did he break his ankle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's always breaking their ankle at those
I broke
places.
my nose on a trampoline. Not a fan.
Why did you have a party at the
I don't
trampoline
know.
place, Sarah?
Listen, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, someone is like, it's like a birthday party, and then you show up, and there's like a stack of paperwork that you are like filling out, and your kid's going in the party, and they're like,
you're signing your life away, and you have to like pay $14 for a pair of socks that you have to wear.
That thing.
Yes.
What's up with
yeah.
I was back to a
can't I wear
backyard
my own
party, and I was
socks?
like, why are you signing something at the back?
No.
Idiot.
No. But yeah, those parties, I'm like, I don't know if like this dude, Brandon, who's like 14 years old, is really going to make sure that my son doesn't do a backflip.
Right. As a parent, where you currently are at, is there anything that you feel like you're fighting, feeling guilty about, or do you have any kind of outward mom expectations that have been put on your shoulders that you feel like you're ready to let go of?
I do not feel guilty about a damn thing.
Has having a child with autism been a big part of that? Has that kind of forced you to push through that faster than
Maybe
someone else?
so. I've never thought of it that way, but maybe so. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm doing my best, and I know that my kids are loved. And I think, there's so much with motherhood, there's so much like fear mongering and like expectation building before the babies even get here. And I'm like, y'all are going to do great. If I'm doing great, like, you're going to do great. Don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty for being a human being, Be humble and, respectful of your kids. And, I think the rest just follows.
Yeah.
I don't do it perfectly, but I also don't feel bad if I make a mistake.
Yeah.
That felt good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel that. Yeah, same.
No, it's important. Like,
It is.
this is hard work,
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel, Sarah, but like, I was a stay-at-home mom, full on. I was a full-on stay-at-home mom until I was 35. About that time, yeah, until I was 35, and it's just so hard.
Yes. Oh my
It's
God.
so hard.
Yeah.
It is easier for me to have work.
Listen,
yeah.
I literally said that last night.
Yeah.
I was when I've had to just do that when I focus and for a few hours, but all the time. I mean, I work from home and there's always people contacting me, so I get to check out of that. It's a lot. I should think through how to express it, but yes, like, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's just like like everyone knows, there is an isolating component of it being just about your kids. And when you can get any semblance of you mattering in any capacity outside of your kids, it just gives you a little dose of like, okay, I still matter outside of this tiny world. And I know that this tiny world that I'm overseeing is so important.
Right.
And it's the most important thing I will ever do. And I appreciate that. But like, you got to have
Other stuff.
something giving you life outside of that. Because with your kids, you are giving and giving and giving and giving. And you got to have something giving to you so that you have something to keep giving to your kids.
Yeah.
Which leads to the last question, which is like, what helps you keep your well full, and what helps you kind of stay afloat in being able to provide your kids what they need? What are the things that you need in order to do that? I know running is a big thing for you.
Running is a big thing. That's probably has been my healthiest choice that I've ever made in my whole life. But my hips hurt right now, so maybe not,
No, I had to stop. My left
Yeah.
hip hurts so bad that I had to
Yeah.
stop running, and I really miss it.
It's the only time in my life I'm doing just one thing.
Right.
I don't I don't even listen to music. I just
That's
get
cool.
out and I go. And it's really soothing. It's great for me to be outside and only worry about myself. And I think also with after you have a kid, and I don't just mean like if you like physically have a kid, like any mother, it's such a physical job. Like,
Totally.
I'm like, you can do anything now. Let's see what you can do. And so that's kind of where I'm at with my body. I'm like, all right, if you can like carry this 60-pound kid around all day long, what else can you do? Like, let's see it. And so I really love running and kind of pushing those boundaries a little bit, or sometimes a lot. And I think for me, work is definitely helpful.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of what you were saying, it's giving me something. It's even just hearing thank you, which often like a tiny little baby is not going to be
or
like.
an adult conversation that you're having. You're like, okay, that was so effortless.
Yeah. So those I think are my main things. And I think just letting myself go to bed early, not like having firm boundaries and saying no to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And not doing so feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, if I show up and I don't want to be there, I'm not really showing up.
Right.
So what's the point?
Right.
You know?
Nice.
That's good.
What about you, Sarah? What fills the well for you right now? Work?
Work. I do something physical every day. Listen, this is a lot. I gotta have a lot of things. I do mantras every day. I meditate for 10 minutes, but I can do like a walking meditation, so I'll do it consciously. Therapy, I mean, it's a lot. But I feel, you mentioned this in our, like, I guess, pre-interview, but it wasn't really 5 minutes or whatever when we just met, Shannon, that, and you think you probably said it on some level today, that motherhood focused you, didn't you say that it brought, or gave you, in that is how it feels for me in a massive way. And I don't know if it's, I've thought about it a lot. I don't want to, I don't know, not give myself any kind of credit, but it feels like giving to someone else or showing up for someone else. I just look at him and I'm just like today even I made like a healthy choice of like throwing away the rest of my birthday cake to,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To, that small a choice, but, so a lot of different things, but, yeah, a lot of self-care stuff, mostly mindfulness, that kind of thing, journaling.
Oh, journaling.
Mental health
journaling.
managing. Yeah. And it helps and is huge. And I've never been more consistent with things than with this. Mm-hmm. So if you are really scattered and ADD and always late and just like doing a job but confused about it, maybe having a kid will help. I can't say for sure, but yeah.
Could be hit or miss, but for you, it worked out great.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What about you?
Ooh, right now, with the 4-month-old, I'm really trying to get myself dressed and out of the house because I know my window of time with, like, we get the New York Times every day, and I love doing the crossword. So I will take the crossword and I will take her to a coffee shop, and she's just in the car seat the whole time, and I do the crossword and I can work on a scene for acting class or whatever. But I know my time is limited with her being content in the car seat. Eventually she's going to be sitting next to me and knocking glasses of water over and reaching for things, and like it's not going to be easy getting her out. It's going to be about taking her where she needs to go to be entertained. Right now, I still have the luxury of choosing what I want to do with my time, just with a baby by me. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to really take advantage of the time frame that I have of going, this will not be this way forever. So yes, I would rather just sit on the couch and wear the same clothes for 5 days in a row and not put my contacts in. So I've just been pushing myself to be like, no, just put your contacts in, put a bra on, get out of the house, dress her up all cute, and go have a coffee and do the crossword and, kill a couple hours.
That's a big deal.
So
I'd say
that's definitely something that I learned from the first time. Like there are some perks to this age.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Yes.
easy to feel like the very beginning is just so all-consuming and you're so needed all the time. But I know now the perks of the age, so I'm trying to take advantage of those.
that's smart.
That is smart. I wish I'd done more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shannon doesn't know about Pop Culture Corner. I haven't told her about Pop Culture Corner.
Question.
Christian.
Do you have a favorite show, or is there any of them, like any Real Housewives? Do you watch any of the Real Housewives?
I do Real Housewives, Bachelor. I'm like I'm a historian.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas.
Oh, we're finally getting to the important
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay,
Bachelor
good.
for
Okay,
sure.
good. Okay. Just running through the topics. Claire Crawley, oldest bachelorette in history. They like to say that a lot.
Okay.
And like the first, like the pandemic started, she started, all right, well, I wasn't prepared. I did practice last time. She, okay, this guy, Dale, super good looking. He was obviously better looking than everybody else that's ever even been on the show, I think. And it was clear that she was going to pick him. And within like the first, 3 days, she had just been like, let's shut it down. This is the guy.
Yeah.
And then they were engaged.
Let's save everybody some time.
Literally. And then they brought in another bachelorette. And then they kept, this is the funnest part to me, they kept the same bachelorettes. I mean, bachelors, same bachelors from, are you listening? Same
Yes.
bachelors from, they kept the same bachelors, like that came for Claire. They kept them for the next girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good info thing.
I feel like I learned something. Again,
you
I learned something last time too
she
in the
was
minute.
38, and it's like not that old. I mean, it's not old at all. It's not what I meant.
But they were
Listen,
definitely.
I'm 35. I'm not saying that was dumb. That was just a slip of the tongue.
I am very excited about entering the 40s when I've already.
Yeah, I like 40s.
I'm still a little wary. I'm just mad that I'm turning 37 this summer, and I feel like 36 never counted because of COVID, and that we should all just get a pass on a year.
I'd take an extra year.
Like if we all agreed,
Yeah.
what's
Right.
the big deal in doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm in agreement.
And anybody
honestly,
else,
yeah.
everybody can do it. It doesn't have to just be me.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst consequence?
We're bending
of
a
that?
lot of rules, I'd say. Let's
Right.
just.
We're making a lot of
Yeah.
exceptions.
It's
Why can't
settled
that
then.
be one of
Yeah.
them?
All right.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad I got to see you and catch up with you. And thank you for bringing the wine.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you both.
You're just
Nice to meet you in real life.
You make my struggles seem like really pathetic compared to the mountains that you've had to climb, and just
With a smile on your face.
yeah, I'm incredibly in awe of not just your parenting, but your writing since I've known you has been like, I struggle on that line of like, oh, I love her writing, and I'm also really jealous that I can't write that good. Because you have that perfect balance of being genuine and funny, and it is clearly what you were put on this planet to do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It is very, very helpful to hear that. And remember that climbing mountains is fun. It is a recreation activity.
a blast.
People even do it indoors these days.
Yeah.
So
You could just get the right gear
Yes.
and you're good to go.
exactly.